and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, Trinidad and Tobago and the wider world. Remember, we are on Facebook, Real Talk with Saieed Ali. We are on YouTube, TT Real Talk, Trinidad and Tobago. You can subscribe, hit the bell, and you would know when we go live. Also, viewers, remember Real Talk Financing. We are offering you 7% on our fixed deposit. You can't miss it, Trinidad and Tobago. This is the time now, viewers, if you want to make money on your hard-earned cash that you have put down in the bank and you're waiting for opportunity to make a lump sum of money to go on a vacation, to repair the house, to make a down payment on a vehicle, you have medical bills you want to pay out, but you're thinking hard. You're thinking hard to go into your income that you've saved. Well, I have news for you. Real Talk Financing is offering you 7% on our fixed deposit, Trinidad and Tobago. Remember, 7%. Not 5% anymore, 7%. So remember, viewers, now is the opportunity to make some extra income on your hard-earned cash. You still have your capital and your interest. You're getting it. So, call us today, viewers, 238-6716, 339-1670, or 267-7325 to find out more about the Real Talk Financing fixed deposits. So, Trinidad and Tobago, as we start off our program tonight, an update for you. Former Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Local Government, Jacqueline Wilson, will be appointed as member and chairman of the Election and Boundaries Commission, ABC. President Christine Kangaloo administered the oath of office and presented the instrument of appointment to Wilson during a ceremony at the President's house earlier today. Wilson brings decades of experience in public administration, governance, and institutional reform to this role. She previously served as Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Local Government and worked as a director in the Governance and Institutional Development Division of the Commonwealth Secretary in London. So, Trinidad and Tobago, we want to congratulate her on this successful position. So, as we go into our current affairs segment, Trinidad and Tobago. So, viewers, the TTPS is reminding the public that while protests are not expressly prohibited under the current state of emergency, all public gatherings must comply with emergency powers regulation currently in force. The TTPS confirmed that officers dispatched a public gathering over the weekend, citing concerns over public safety and the maintenance of order under the current SOE. Among the key powers now available to police under Legal Notice number 40 of the SOE Power Regulation 2026 are: number 1, the Commissioner of Police may restrict the association or communication of individuals and prohibit entry into specific area. Number 2, any location may be designated a protested place, making unauthorized entry an offense and permitting police to search or remove persons from such an area. Number 3, officers have expanded stop and search, detain and arrest powers without a warrant where there is reasonable suspicion that actions may be prejudged to public safety. So, viewers, also number 4, public speech, organized or avocation connected to protest activity may constitute an offense where such action are deemed capable of influencing public opinion in manner determined to public safety. Consequences of breaching the emergency powers regulation includes fine for up to $100,000, TT dollars, and imprisonment for up to 5 years. So Trinidad and Tobago, after the gathering of Samaru and Silly friends over the killing, they gathered outside the TTPS administration building, and TTPS is reminding the public that protest is prohibited. I want you to understand that. I've just read out some legal notices for you, so you all can take into consideration when you're having your gathering. So we can see the officers on them there clearly, and they are trying to keep it as peaceful as possible. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, it is what it is under the SOE. Into other news, I am a mother. I am not a gangster. Were the words of Kia Sealy. She is currently abroad, undergoing treatment and rehabilitation for injuries sustained in the police-involved shooting, which claimed the life of her partner, Joshua Samaru. Sealy is now wanted by police for 3 accounts of shooting with intent to cause grievously body harm, as well as manslaughter. In a statement, Sealy said, she learned through the media that she is to be charged in connection with Samaru's death. And says, while her attorney had written to the TTPS seeking clarification, no acknowledgement or response has been provided. She is now claiming innocent, as she says she has never been in trouble with the law. Sealy says that the full truth of what happened on January 20th, 2026 will emerge soon. So Trinidad and Tobago, this is what we want. After looking at what you saw and what you are seeing on television, presently, the public wants to know the truth. Now also, the First Wave movement have since condemned the criminal charges laid against Sealy, describing the prosecution as a traverse of justice and calling for the immediate withdrawal of the charges. Leader of the movement, Umar Abdullah, rejected legal argument made in a recent article discussing that case, saying the reasoning advanced was legal unsound, factual, inconsistent, and dangerously misleading of or to the public. The movement argued that attempts to hold Sealy responsible for the death of Samaru were based on a disorientation of criminal liability. So Trinidad and Tobago, now this is something, it has sparked our country. It has sparked a lot of voices to be heard. So TTPS now have some responsibility and accountability to present to Trinidad and Tobago. Because what we are clearly seeing is police officers jumping out of our vehicle. Look at this, that same officer. That same officer, the first officer you're seeing. What our eyes can see, play back the video from the beginning, director. I want you all to look at something. From the beginning, before he jumped out the van. Trinidad and Tobago, look at this. As the officer jumped out the van, he started shooting. As he jumped out the van, he started shooting. If you notice, before he started to shoot, the driver's hand were outside the vehicle, you know. This is just observation made, you know. This is just observation made by looking at the video. I am not a judge, I am not a lawyer. But I am just showing you. Run it back again. Vehicle stop, officer jump out, hands in the air, and he's still shooting. Other officers behind the TDAC there, everybody seen the man hand, the 3 officers, and continue shooting. This police officer with the handgun, apparently like he emptied his submachine gun and decided to pull out his handgun now. Look at it. Hands in the air. And the man continue, look at it. So Trinidad and Tobago, the world is wondering now what actually happened with this. But nevertheless, viewers, they have made their statements. Warrants have been issued. But nevertheless, we are just going to have to wait until Kia releases her part now. That is what we're going to have to wait until Kia releases the truth of what actually happened. So viewers, switching gears. Now, everybody is asking for police to wear body cameras after that incident took place. Every individual, law enforcement, police, some lawyers, different group in Trinidad and Tobago is asking TTPS now to wear body cameras. Let me tell you something. That video, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago lost complete trust in TTPS. Complete trust. Complete trust. 3 officers seen an individual hands in the air and continue offloading. Continue offloading bullets. You can tell me an individual get 19 bullets? 19 bullets? That is not shooting with a warning, that is shooting to kill. That is murder. That is murder. But it's sad, yes, it's sad. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, in the coming days, let's hope something better come out of this. Now, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Let me tell you something, The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service Social and Welfare Association President ASP Ishmael Pitt is seeking to make it clear the association is in support of officers using body cameras. Imagine this, Imagine this, He added that the association is pro-body cameras for the purpose of transparency. Listen to Ishmael.
The Police Association is pro-body cameras for the purpose of transparency and in keeping with modern policing practices, principles, the whole issue of what we'll consider as police legitimacy and, maintaining that public image that is consistent with partnership.
So now, viewers, he is saying that there are some challenges with the current equipment. Imagine challenges with the current equipment, but officers are saying differently. Trinidad and Tobago, I just don't want to reveal too much, but I will stick to my script. Listen to what he's saying
now. Yes, we have had some challenges, and I'm saying we, meaning the police officer on the ground, regarding the body cams that are presently in existence, ranging from the battery life of the devices to its practicality given the demands for policing. And as such, cameras that are to be outfitted should be fit for purpose in order that it serves its particular objective.
However, the association says officers do utilize the existing equipment, but findings of body camera footage is not placed in the public domain. Listen to this one more time.
Of course, body cams are being used, but the findings of body cam footage is not necessarily placed in the public domain. It's placed in the courthouse where it is considered in terms of its evidential value. So, yes, the body cams are being used.
So, viewers, the association would like equal emphasis to be placed on procuring bulletproof vests and other equipment to protect and safeguard officers in the line of duty. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles has also since called for the use of body cams and is calling for urgent intervention in relation to Saieed Ali and Joshua Samaru incidents. Listen to this.
That matter with Saieed Ali and Samaru, I mean, that touched, I think, almost every citizen was concerned about that matter. And I think the whole country was waiting patiently to see what was the outcome. I have said over and over that an important intervention must be body cameras. I mean, you must have a situation where the public feels fairly confident that we have the best possible evidence that is available. Because had there been no video footage, we would not have really gotten a clue as to what it is that transpires.
So now, my question is to Penny. Penny was there for 9 years in a government that was running Trinidad and Tobago. Her colleague, Fitzgerald Hines, who was the Minister of National Security, they had the willpower, Trinidad and Tobago, to make sure every single police officer has functional body cameras. But for the 9 years, it wasn't important. I don't care how Penny wants to look at it, I don't care how other people want to look at it, But for 9 years, that woman that you just saw on television there, she was in government. A government that ran Trinidad and Tobago for 9 years. For 9 years. Her colleague, Fitzgerald Hines, did nothing. No body camera. All of a sudden now they're talking about body cameras and no. I believe Marvin said Trinidad and Tobago was in a dark place. He was a Minister of National Security and nothing. Absolutely nothing. So now, because of the incident, all members in the opposition have something to say. But when you were there for 9 years, you could not handle the crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago. You did not fix the TTPS. But after this incident, you have something to say. It's sad. It's sad. Trinidad and Tobago, we are going for a short commercial break. But stay locked on. When we come back, we're going to hear Padarats defend Wassa hirees. When we return.
We'll be right back.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concerns. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Connect with us on social media and don't miss the latest updates. Follow us on Instagram at RealTalk_Newsroom. Check us out on Facebook at Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Real Talk Trinidad and TikTok at Real Talk with Saieed Ali.
Welcome back.
So welcome back to Real Talk. Minister of Public Utilities Barry Patharat is dismissing as PNM propaganda a news report which raised concerns over who's hiring of social media influencers at a reported monthly salary of just over 85,000.
I mean, that touched.
First of all, I have no intention of dancing to the tune of the PNM, nor its agents inside and outside of WASA or anywhere else in the public service. Further, there was a process to hire persons. When the issue of hirings at WASA was raised with me, I did indicate that WASA had advised that some of these persons were on short-term contracts. These persons are eligible for employment just like anybody else, and once they went through the process, I have no difficulty with WASA hiring persons who have gone through the necessary process to legitimately be hired at WASA.
So viewers, a number of persons in questions have shared pro-government content on their respective social media platform. According to reports, over 400 people were hired by WASA following the 2025 general election. Asked the minister whether he wanted to dispute any of the claims made in the article. This is what he had to say.
I want to remind you, I am the line minister with responsibility for WASA. However, I do not sit in the HR division or the finance division or the procurement division of WASA. And therefore, the company continues to operate. And therefore, as I said, once people went through a process that WASA is satisfied through their Human Resources Department, I am comfortable with the information that WASA has supplied to me. It is disingenuous, almost ridiculous, to suggest that these persons are hired as anything other than the job specifications within their remit or their job title.
So Trinidad and Tobago, let's have a little discussion. 238-6716, feel free to call in. So they bring up an issue of social media influencers working at WASA. What about when minister's wife, minister's friends, minister's family getting millions of dollars in contract? Nobody had nothing to say. Nobody had nothing to say. So how is it now that because some influencers are working at WASA, the public has something to say now? This is just my concern. How it is? Over 400 people were employed at WASA. And out of these 400 people, they say 9 were influencers. These 9 influencers working for a total of a little over $85,000 a month. But nobody didn't see when the minister's wife got millions of dollars in contracts. Nobody didn't say anything when families got millions in contract also. Nobody said anything. It's sad, you know, Trinidad. It's sad, you know, how we're raising an issue over nothing really. So because these influencers were sharing, let me say, UNC ads or UNC meetings or whatever it is, they were vying for the UNC to win. So because that now, all are labeling them now, oh gosh, let me tell you something, that's small-minded people. This country lost millions of dollars in corruption. Saddam Hussein read it out in Parliament. We aired it on national television. And nobody said anything. Call a good night.
Good night, Mr. Saeed. Great program as usual. And for many of your supporters to your program, you and another person are the savior for this country. Two great souls in this country. You and Ian Allen, well, you know that. Two great souls in this country, you know. And without you and Ian Allen, nothing good is happening in this country. The citizens will feel they are nobody in this country. They feel left out, they feel rejected as what we are seeing today. And to the citizens of this country who are saying, put on body cams, and even the president of the Police Welfare Association, that is not going to help. When you see police can manipulate a serious issue as this killing of this man and injuring his girlfriend, paralyzed, and they manipulated that whole thing and got the DPP. And I believe it's the evidence they presented to the DPP caused the DPP to make a decision, because the DPP are going to investigate nothing. And the PCA and the police, if you want to go in depth and investigate them, they both collude with each other, they protect each other. I don't know for what reason. There are no transparency and fairness in this country dealing with any issues. And when you have a prime minister, a dishonorable, disgraceful prime minister is supporting that police action, no man, and for the longest while, caller to your program is calling for Alexander and Guerrero to be removed, fired, before this country could go forward and before we could solve crime in this country. Long time, because every lie they presented, the Prime Minister supported it. Shame, and we at a very, very bad, dangerous state in this country, Mr. Saeed. And wherever you're going in the country, people are frightened. They say, well, if we could run, we're going to run. And I met one of Kamala's cousins in Barracoina with it, and she listened to your program, religiously listened to your program every day, and she gave me a little history and a reminder about her on another program. I will disclose it to the citizens of this country. Mr. Saeed, God bless you. You keep up this great work you are doing. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. So, Trinidad and Tobago, we are still waiting to hear how much firearms, licensed firearm, has been issued for business owners since Guerrero picked up the mantle of the Commissioner of Police for Trinidad and Tobago. I am still waiting for that amount. But listen to this now. Switching gears. Different minister. Transport Minister Eli Zachar have revealed that Transport Ministry will soon launch a road safety campaign, and it also working to introduce a checkered ban maxi taxi system, providing regulated public transport to undeserved rural communities. The minister is also speaking to the Education Ministry to add road safety to the school curriculum. Listen to this.
Currently, we are talking to the Ministry of Education to add to the curriculum road safety in schools, where persons at a young age will now be educated on road safety. The ministry is also working on a comprehensive inventory and assessment of all public vehicles in the country. I was very shocked to learn that there was never in recent times an inventory of all public service vehicles in the country.
Zachary reveals, while this contributing to debate on an opposition motion calling for a road safety program to prevent loss of life. Caller, good night.
Good night, Saieed. You know what is very disturbing, sir? The PNM is calling, Marvin Gonzalez, he coming after Padara to hiring. A few people got hired. You understand? They went through the normal process and
Correct.
what have you with WhatsApp. What about the hiring under the PNM where ministers' wife and friend and family
True.
and all these people? These people hired by the UNC, it's just a few $1,000, $4,000, $5,000, whatever a month. But the wives of these ministers in the PNM is millions and billions. Why did Marvin Gonzalez didn't go after them at that time? This is the hypocrisy of the PNM. This is what I cannot, and I agree, their job is to oppose and whatever. Oh God, but do it in a decent manner, sir. Now the other thing that, with this country, this uproar and protest over the killing of Joshua Samara, what have you. My question, which nobody has answered as yet, why was he running from the police? Police instinct. If they see somebody acting suspiciously, they would try to apprehend them or to find something.
Correct.
This man was chasing, he was running, irregardless if he put out his hand or what have you. Why? The question to be asked is why, And then, the father who is saying this and what have you, that man spent a lot of time in prison. He himself seems to be a criminal. So with all this uproar, I think this government is being mild. How could you protest? Protest properly. These people who are coming out and talking all this kind of rubbish. Look again, sir, under the PNM, all the friends and financiers, billions we talking. So the hypocrisy of the PNM, sir. I am urging the population not to listen to these people. They have been there for 10 years. Now you have solution for this. Anything to solve the government, to solve the problem, say you are opposed to it. It's time that they take a backseat, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, my friend. So back to Eli. Zachary said, another imminent project involves 2,000 kilometers of road across TNT, which will be assessed to identify high-risk areas and support targeted safety improvement to protect road users. Zachary said the Vehicle Maintenance Company of Trinidad and Tobago, VEMCOT, has fixed 52 police vehicles from private garages for over 2 years. He then questioned what occurred when MP Marvin Gonzalez was a VEMCOT board member and said he will reveal what occurred in the mid-year review. Listen to Trinidad and Tobago.
December, in a 3-week period, VEMCOT fixed 52 police vehicles. These vehicles were parked up in some private garages for up to 2 years. One vehicle that was parked up for 1 year took 1 hour to fix, and a vehicle that was parked up for 2 years took about a little over an hour to fix. I know the Member of Parliament for Ruka Lopino is very jealous about this because when he was on the board of directors of VEMCOT all those years, they never did anything like this. And when I get an opportunity at the mid-year review, I'll tell you exactly what was going on in VEMCOT when that member was on the board of directors.
So Trinidad and Tobago, is it more S that is going to come out, more corruption that is going to come out? Waste of money? Because Eli is clearly telling us that when he gets a chance at the mid-year review, he's going to spill some beans. Let me say beans. Because he's going to actually tell us what took place when Marvin Gonzalez was on the board at VEMCOT. Trinidad and Tobago, we are going for a short commercial break. Social assistant grant eligible expanded. Stay locked on. When we come back, you're going to hear more of that.
We'll be right back.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concerns. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Connect with us on social media and don't miss the latest updates. Follow us on Instagram at RealTalk_Newsroom. Check us out on Facebook at Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Real Talk Trinidad and TikTok at Real Talk with Saieed Ali.
Welcome back.
So welcome back to Real Talk viewers. Remember Real Talk Financing, Trinidad and Tobago. Real Talk Financing, we are offering you 7% on a fixed deposit. Remember that viewers, nowhere in Trinidad and Tobago are you going to get 7% on a fixed deposit. Nowhere else. Remember viewers, we are a licensed financial institution right here in Trinidad and Tobago. Very soon we'll be expanding in other countries. We're just waiting on finalization of some paperwork, and then we will launch in a new country. So viewers, 7%, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong at all. Also, those of you looking for loans, contact Real Talk Financing viewers. Remember, we are located at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road in Shoguners and 23 Cipero Street in San Fernando. Remember that. So, Minister of the People, Social Development and Family Service, Vandana Mohit, has confirmed that the government has announced major reforms to the standard means test to ensure a greater number of families are eligible for social assistance grant. She stated that the changes are long overdue and will better reflect the realities facing vulnerable citizens in 2026 and beyond. Listen to this.
That for almost a decade, vulnerable families were being assessed using benchmarks established before dramatic increases in food prices, transportation costs, housing expenses, utilities, and healthcare burdens, and most importantly, the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. And that is the uncomfortable truth. Madam Deputy Speaker, a system designed to protect the vulnerable cannot remain frozen in time while the cost of survival continues to rise.
Mohit said, an interministerial committee was established in July 2025 to comprehensively review the standard means test. The minister also said the eventual result led to updates to the poverty indicators, which has increased from $1,798 to $2,555. The minister said these changes are necessary to ease the burden facing the vulnerable in society today. So viewers, listen to this one more time.
These figures acknowledge the painful reality that life has become more expensive for ordinary citizens. And most importantly, these revised thresholds mean that more genuinely vulnerable households will now qualify for assistance instead of being unfairly excluded under outdated criteria.
So viewers, the minister said the reform allows assessment to better reflect actual living condition. So viewers, in the coming days, the coming weeks, and the coming months, whatever changes there are to this ministry who supports the social assistance grant, we're going to bring it to you and update you on it. Community leaders and senior police officers and officials are calling for a stronger public participation in shared responsibility in addressing crime and the quality of life issues in Couva, as concerns ranging from theft to noise pollution continues to affect residents. The Couva Police Station Community Council stated that to build a safer district, it requires stronger cooperation between residents, police, and local stakeholders as the community continue to grow. Trinidad and Tobago, how long have I been saying this? How long? How long have I been saying this? A community could only become stronger, better, and safer when everybody come together. I've been saying this for quite some time now. Quite some time now I've been saying this. So the police in Couva is pushing for community participation. I've been saying this long time. The police needs to step out of their safe zone and come down to the ground, walk in the community, go and check Tom, Dick, and Harry, the young one, the old one, the middle class one. Eradicate crime from your community. And when a crime do happen, move swiftly to get rid of that individual from stopping him from committing more crimes in the community. Now, when there's crime in a community, the station looks bad. I'm telling you this. When crime is committed in a community, the stations look very bad. The head of the station and the workers, the police in that station looks very bad. So in order now to fix that, you need to come down and talk to the people. If you see something, say something. Give the people that trust. Couva Police, they are pushing now for the community to come together. Come together. But to start this, what you need the corrupt officers out of the station. Out of the station. And that is the only way the seniors in the station could have a good name. Could we say Shogona Station is a well-deserved station where highly ranked officers can safely say Shogona is free from crime? Not too long ago they had, imagine, thieving inside the station. Police working in the station and you're thieving in the station. Marijuana got missing, cocaine got missing. So how would you class the Shogona station now? As robbers in police uniform working in the station. The station is supposed to protect and serve the people of Shogunas. We have the bandit working in police clothes in the station. How that looks? How it reflects? It will reflect bad because when the station in a community get a name, let me tell you something, it's not one person getting a name, it's all the officers on that station. People going to condemn the officers them. And that is where now we would start losing interest in the officers and them. So when you see something, you ain't going to say nothing. Imagine you see a crime taking place in the community, you know who doing it, but when you go in the station now, you see officers who committing crime. It's sad, And then them officers want we now to trust them. When they do hear the yes, the officer get caught in crime, some bacchanal. But we have to go to them to make a report. So who we going to? We going to the bandit to make a report? To come and lock up his friend? No, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. That is why we are at this stage where we are. So the Cuba Police now Trinidad and Tobago, the Cuba Police Station is pushing for the citizens to come together. Now listen to this. Speaking at a public meeting, Bishop Ezekiel Clark, President of the Council, highlighted the importance of unity and shared responsibility in addressing local challenges. Listen to Ezekiel.
CPSCC acts as a bridge between community groups, businesses, religious organizations, schools, youth groups, and of course the Cuba Police Station. Our role is not only to support crime prevention initiatives, but also to encourage community ownership. And I would repeat that, community ownership. We, as residents in the District of Cuba, in our various communities, we need to be united and own our communities. Public safety cannot succeed through policing alone.
Hear that? Or listen to that? Call her good night.
Yeah, good night, Mr. Saeed, man. Good night to you and good night to the people of Trinidad and Tobago through your show. What a great show, sir. But Mr. Saeed, I want to say something on your show. There is a lot of things that people are saying about the crime in this country. And a lot of people is calling into your show and saying that the crime base is from the police service.
Yes.
But I don't know, I asked you a question, Mr. Saeed. Who is in charge of the police in it? Who is to clamp what's happening where the drugs and the guns and all these things that people are saying that is happening within the police force? Who is to see about that, sir? Who in this country is to see about that? And if nobody is doing anything about it, would anything get better, sir?
Correct.
For instance, for example, homicide, I'm just giving you a quick example. Homicide police came on the site of a murder. After all what they did that they say was their work, they got a video film with the person that committed the murder with the gun in his hand, and up to today, nothing has ever been done.
Correct.
And these people of this country and this police force is saying, trust the police, Mr. Saeed. Mr. Saeed, I am telling the people of this country, trust in God, not in the police. Bad way to go. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, staying in Cuba, Brother Ezekiel, he then stated that youth development remains one of the strongest weapons against crime to long-term crime reduction. Listen to this one more time.
Weapons against crime is youth development. The CPSCC continues to support and plan initiatives aimed at youth engagement, sports development, community recreation, leadership training, positive mentorship, and also cultural activities. Today, ladies and gentlemen, every citizen has a role to play in national development and community safety.
Viewers, Senior Superintendent in the Central Division and residents of Kuva, Ravi Bagwanding, also stressed that crime prevention requires shared effort and strong reporting. Listen to this.
We can't do it alone. Police can't do it alone. You would hear the term, if you see something, say something. You will hear that all over the place. But the police is challenged right now with getting information about crimes because nobody wants to talk about it. So I urge you all to be part of the council and to work together with the police. It's a collaborative effort.
So recently with the shooting with Kia and Joshua, Trinidad and Tobago citizen, after viewing that footage, has broken the trust of TTPS. Now let me tell you what would have bring the trust from citizens to police officers. Imagine Trinidad and Tobago. The Commissioner of Police took a while before coming out and making a statement. When that video footage hit the airwaves in Trinidad and Tobago, what the Commissioner is supposed to do, and I'll say this without apologizing for anything, the Commissioner of Police supposed to pull those officers off the street immediately and let the public know that this matter is under investigation and those officers have hence been moved from patrol to desk. Recently, the Commissioner said, thus far, I have listened to the broadcast. Charges will be laid, but against who? To this date, one man got 19 bullets. 19 bullets. 3 officers shot at a vehicle with an individual hands in the air, and his body was riddled with bullets. That would have been the beginning of trust from the citizen to the police. And the Commissioner of Police was in the chair to make that decision. We haven't heard anything about charges being laid against John Doe that represented Trinidad and Tobago Police Force. We ain't heard that yet. You know, we hear a paralyzed girl being charged for murder. But all I could say, Trinidad and Tobago, after looking at this video footage, looking at the officer now jumping out of the van and emptying his clip on the car, with hands in the air, that's a different story. Is it abuse of power? Now, I have attorneys who would guide me accordingly. But was that abuse of power? I don't know, I just saying something. I'll leave it for the citizen and the DPP to look at. Now, let's just say, Trinidad and Tobago, they say Kia is a gangster baby. But is that the way you apprehend somebody? I'm just asking a question, you know. Is that the way you apprehend somebody? Now, I could play the audio for this, you know. I could play the audio for this video. And you will hear the amount of gunshots rang out. But again, they say God is work but slow, you know. So hopefully we go hear Kia's side of the story when she gets better. We are hearing nothing from the officers and them. Charges will be laid when the charges will be laid. When? So, like I said, Trinidad and Tobago, the Commissioner of Police took an order from the DPP. Understand what I'm saying clearly. We have to give jackets. The Commissioner took orders from the DPP. He cannot say anything. He just has to take the order and execute it. That is all we have to say. That is all we have to say. But looking at that, look at hands in the air. As the police jump out, hands in the air, and you riddle that body. It's sad, eh? It's sad. But nevertheless, nevertheless, we live in that. For those in authority, the lawyers, the judge, the police, the prosecution, we leave that for them to deal with. But Trinidad and Tobago will now know if to trust TTPS or not. Into some other news, as Minister of Culture and Community Development, Michelle Benjamin, and Mayaro MP, Nicholas Morris, hosted a community development outreach. Over 30 key government agencies were present in Mayaro. Benjamin stated that the initiative reflects the government's commitment to citizens. Listen to this.
This initiative was born out of conversation and consultation with the Honorable Prime Minister that gave me a commitment to go into the constituencies, rural constituencies, and make sure that no one is left behind. You remember when our Honorable Prime Minister took her oath, she said, whether you are in the plains, whether you are in the lagoon, whether you are in the farm, we see you. And basically, this initiative, see you. Rural constituencies, we see you.
She also noted that the government is doing its part to remove the perception that access to state resources is limited to the capital city. Benjamin.
Do not stay and say, Port of Spain is where the resources are. My ministry's commitment to you is to bring every government agency right where you live, right where you reside. For too long, we never had access to community centers. And I'm telling you, the government is working on changing that. Every resources, every program will be reflected in community centers.
So viewers, MP Morris thanked Minister Benjamin and praised her work ethics. Listen to this.
This is part of the process to rebuild and re-energize this country, going community to community. 10 years of neglect cannot be reversed in 1 year. But people like Minister Benjamin have started that process. And today is just 1% of the work you see that Minister Benjamin is doing.
So Trinidad and Tobago, just a little update. The 24-year-old Goodwood man has been charged with the murder of 2-year-old Angelo Tobas Plaza nearly 2 weeks after the toddler disappeared. Disappearance triggered an island-wide search operation in Tobago. So that's the latest on that, viewers. We are out of time for tonight, Trinidad and Tobago, but remember, our run this program is the next day from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. We'll be right back here another night for another live Real Talk with Saieed. Until then, good night, Trinidad and Tobago.